Savage Squad. In my last video, we got into everything that happened with the Asian Girl Squad lore, and a ton of you guys requested that we get into the Savage Squad tea next. So here we are. Similar to Asian Girl Squad, Savage Squad consisted of 4 lifestyle YouTube influencer girlies: Eva, Teala, Meredith, and Sierra. As for where the name Savage Squad came from, it was a different time back then in 2015. Savage was super trendy slang back then to describe people who were brutally honest, harsh, or fearless. It was a positive term. I will say that they air out their drama publicly a lot more than Asian Girl Squad ever did. Maybe that means they really were savage, or maybe they were just farming views and finding ways to make money and stay relevant through all of these speculations. You can be the judge of that. The Savage Squad girlies go through multiple falling outs and slight coming back togethers. It was a bit of a roller coaster. So today we're getting into the Savage Squad lore, friendship breakups, what has been said by the members, theories on what went down, and what happened to them now. Quick warning that we will be lightly discussing EDs, so in case that is upsetting to you, I just wanted to make that clear. That being said, let's get into it. 2015 was an interesting time. During this year, we had the first Girls Night In tour, which was the most popular lifestyle YouTube girlies thrown in a bus and brought around the United States to essentially do group meet and greets. On this tour, we get 3 out of the 4 Savage Squad members meeting: Sierra, Eva, and Meredith. And at these shows, the girls would do skits, challenges, Q&As, dance parties, and other random stuff. Eva and Teala were friends from some other connection, most likely also related to being influencers and in the acting space in LA, and Eva is ultimately the one who brings the 4 Savage Squad girlies together and they start doing collabs. We actually know the exact date of Savage Squad being formed. Apparently it was January 14th, 2016. Meredith says this in a best friend challenge video on Sierra's channel, which was the first video collab that I could find them referring to themselves as the Savage Squad and as a group of best friends. This era of 2016 is what I'm calling the golden year of the squad, because this is the first and only year that the Savage Squad would have all 4 members. They were constantly filming collab videos together and featuring each other in vlogs. It was the calm before the storm. They did a BFF gift exchange for Christmas that year and of course filmed it. Something I did notice is how much they emphasize the fact that they're a squad, not just in video titles or thumbnails, but when they are speaking to each other. Eva says she picked her gift based on the fact that they are the best squad ever, and I also noticed that the gifts were very matchy-matchy. They would essentially get every girl the same thing, but a different color or a scent. Like Sierra got the girls all keychains, but with a different letter for each of their names. People noticed when the girls were opening their gifts that Meredith spent minutes just taking picture after picture of the keychain to post on her Snapchat, which kind of just highlighted how not in the moment their friendship interactions were. Eva got the girls matching friendship Tiffany rings, and right after getting them, Meredith seems to pull out her phone immediately to post on Snapchat again. I only point this out because there is this overarching theme with these 2015-2016 girl squads being friends mostly for clout and just recording everything for content. So the girlies ring in the new year still being a seemingly united Savage Squad, and they all go to Coachella together. I couldn't find many still active collab videos from the first half of 2017, but I understand why. At the time, people started suspecting that Meredith could be potentially struggling with an ED. She has since taken down a lot of the videos in this time period, but she had posted about starting a new workout and diet regimen and was losing a lot of weight. In July of that year, Meredith even posts a now privated YouTube video addressing the rumors and saying that she did not have any problem, and then she took a break from social media. People could see that Meredith was struggling and noticed that she was no longer in the vlogs with the other Savage Squad members. People started commenting on other Savage Squad members' videos asking where Meredith was, what's going on, and if she's okay. And Teala and Sierra got some backlash during this time. Notably, in one of Teala's vlogs titled The Situation ... she says that she wants to address rumors since she's seen the thousands of comments asking. She refers to what's been going on as tea and gives her audience advice saying that if you're ever giving 98% of effort into anyone and they're not doing the same, that's a problem. Quote, "It takes 2 to tango." video. Sierra is also featured in this vlog, and Teala mentions how the entire squad hasn't been able to come together in a while, but they're just about to FaceTime Eva. So given all of that, people quickly deduce that her friend's advice is really about Meredith and throwing shade at her. People in the comments express anger and disappointment towards her for using her friend's serious situation as clickbait. Sierra allegedly also did a similar clickbaity thing in a video, but that video has since been taken down. Come September, Sierra celebrates her birthday, and Teala posts a photo on Twitter saying, "Friendship is so important. Cherish your best friends," with only her, Sierra, and Eva, which causes more and more people to be questioning what happened to Meredith and speculating that Sierra, Teala, and Eva iced her out for some reason and could be mean girls. And let me just say, tweeting this photo is so messy. It's clearly a direct call out to the fact that none of them are friends with Meredith at this point. This was not the way to get people to relax and ease up in the rumors and speculations. This was just adding major fuel to the fire. And the barrage of people tweeting about where Meredith was must have pissed Eva off, because she fires back with a series of tweets on the situation just a couple hours after Teala's post, saying, "The fact that I've been so disrespected by someone I thought was my best friend, and then since Twitter world doesn't know the full story, newsflash, when 4 BFFs are not friends anymore and it's divided into 3 to 1, the bigger party may look like the problem, but they're not. Just because it ends up being 3 and 1 doesn't mean the 3 caused any problem. I'm sick of people thinking a bigger group means they messed up. Do not come for me. I worked blood, sweat, and tears into making sure someone knew I cared about them more than I cared for myself, and lost them in the most slap in the face, good for you for caring way possible. The only snake is you for dwelling on such a sad topic. The sad reality is the savage is 3, and that isn't by any of our choice. We're choosing to thrive and try to move on happily, in hopes that maybe someday someone will realize mistakes. Until then, stop with the BS stories. All you know is we're trying to move on." She also leaves a comment on one of Sierra's videos that is now privated about the situation after fans kept speculating, basically saying that her and Teala have especially expressed concerns about Meredith's well-being and offered to help and be there for her in the best ways they could, but Meredith ended up distancing herself from the group. She refused to meet up with them and address the problems she was facing, which led to her ultimately just leaving the group. Eva refers to the squad as best friends and equates losing Meredith to losing a best friend, which I only point out now because it will be questioned later on how close they even were at this time. There was some mixed reactions to Eva's statement about it. Some people pointed out how Eva was essentially making what Meredith was going through about herself by highlighting how sad it made her and how it's been a hard time for everyone. Personally, while I'm sure she could have addressed things better, it's definitely not as bad to me as Sierra and Teala using the situation as clickbait in their videos. But anyways, the rest of the year goes on with the Savage Squad as 3 members, and they continue collabing with each other and referring to each other as best friends. A few months pass and we're into 2018. Sierra and Teala do a Q&A titled "The Truth About Savage Squad," where Teala says she doesn't consider them the Savage Squad anymore now that they're missing members. It's funny that she says this though, because she will continue posting videos referring to them as Savage Squad even after this. And while the video is only of Teala and Sierra, they say no shade to Eva because she's in Mexico and that they talk to Eva every day. Coachella comes around and Teala, Sierra, and Meredith record themselves dancing together. People also notice that at this time, everybody in the group follows each other except for Meredith and Eva, which will fuel some additional speculation later on about who really caused Meredith to split off from the group. This year, they also address Meredith leaving the group again in a collab video with Teala, Sierra, and Eva. They answered the question, "Do you miss Meredith in the Savage Squad?" Teala says she definitely does, but people change and grow apart, and she doesn't know how Meredith is doing now and essentially knows nothing about her. Sierra doesn't say anything, and Eva kind of goes off on a mini rant talking about how a lot of people go through friendship breakups with a toxic bad friend, and if anyone came into their DMs for help, they would respond back with help. help. But in this situation, when it's happening to them, they get the opposite reaction from people. Based on these different responses, it fuels even more speculation that the main split was between Eva and Meredith. In the same video, they're supposed to roast each other, and Sierra says that Eva scares her because she has receipts for everything, and that Sierra would never call Eva out and fight her because she could never win. Eva does agree to this sentiment and says that since 2016, she's been that Eva, aka Receipts Eva. In September, they're all still collabing, still referring to each other as best friends. But cut to December, we get the first large Big Bear trip with Asian Girl Squad in attendance as well, and Eva is mysteriously missing. So Teala and Sierra are there collabing it up with the other lifestyle influencer girlies, but no Eva, even though it makes complete sense for her to be there because she's literally in Savage Squad and connected with these other girls as well. Come January 2019 into the new year, we get a bombshell life update video from Eva where she addresses the Savage Squad, basically saying she's no longer friends with them because she outgrew them. She talks about how she realized who in her life made her feel like she was backtracking in her progression with her spirituality and hobbies, how it was hard for her to feel motivated to push for her goals when the people around her didn't want the same things. She felt disconnected between who she actually was and who she was pretending to be just to keep her friends. While some people might ask her why she would cut someone off if nothing major happened, her answer would just be because she felt held back and she's grown now. She says no hate to anyone, but she does kind of shade them because she goes on a little rant about how she went to Hawaii recently and hung out with her friends there, and they were all real people that genuinely cared for one another, whereas people in LA are super fake, always talking about money, making content, and vlogging together. It felt like a direct diss against her friendship with the Savage Squad members. She basically called them all fake. Then literally one day after Ava's video, Teala posts a video sharing some of her side of things, saying that she hasn't seen Eva since last October. And a couple days later, she posts a full video saying that Ava's video was the first time she ever heard anything that Eva had to say about their friendship ending. It was never brought to her attention before. She had reached out to Eva to hang out before Eva went on a trip to Japan, which was in November, but it never happened. She would have rather talked in person, and it sucks to see things addressed online first. She says let 2019 be the year that people practice what they preach and be genuine people, which feels like direct shade against Eva since Eva said that she wants to stop living a fake life online. Teala also says that she doesn't want people to take sides, but also don't believe everything you see and don't make assumptions about how things went down, and no one knows the true story. And in the same video, she addresses questions about Meredith too, saying that she loves Meredith. Meredith is this good person and she'll never forget the times that they had together as best friends. I'm sorry, but I can't help but notice the complete switch up here because Teala was 100% shading Meredith as a bad friend when Meredith first had the falling out with the group, but now she's hyping her up. To be fair, time has passed since that initial falling out. By this point, Meredith has opened up a bit online about her ED and recovery. Yes, she admitted that she did struggle with an ED, and she started sharing her journey about connecting with her faith. In May, she posts a video answering assumptions about her and admits to having been recovering from her ED for about a year and a half. She says that she used to feel lonely in life with fake friends, but she has real friends now, and gives a direct shout out to Teala. She says that she has no resentment or hate towards Eva or Sierra, that Sierra is a kind, gentle soul and so sweet, and that Eva, she just wishes the best for her and she hopes that she's thriving and only wants people to have their hearts filled with love, happiness, and success. And that shout out to Teala bleeds into this era of Teala and Meredith rekindling their best friendship really publicly. I say best friendship in quotes because the amount of times these girls refer to themselves as best friends and then proceed to downplay everything and backtrack once there's a fallout and call things fake is wild. But okay, sure, they're best friends at this point. For the next couple months, Meredith and Teala do multiple collabs together and address some of their past drama. Teala says that they had to grow on their own with their time apart, learn more self-love and respect, and now they've come back together closer than ever. They say that they rekindled their friendship off camera at first, and Meredith said that she expressed fear that Teala only wanted to hang out with her for collabs and views online, but it turns out they were on the same page and just wanted to become friends again. Meredith says that Teala is the only real YouTube friend that she's ever had, which again, I'm like, dang, okay, I guess Savage Squad was really a complete lie. Then we get some additional shade thrown at Eva because they answer the reason why they ever fell out to begin with was because there was someone who was in both of their lives at the time that was not good for them. Meredith realized that person was not good for her sooner, but was scared because Teala was still close with that person, so Meredith just pulled away from everybody. But later on, when Teala was also no longer associated with that someone, Meredith felt safe to become friends again. Another thing to fuel that this is definitely about Eva is that Eva posted her video cutting off Savage Squad in January, and Teala and Meredith say that they rekindled their friendship offline in February and March. And they don't name the someone, but they say that people can figure out who it is, so I think that this is the right answer. Eventually, things do kind of simmer down, and even Meredith and Teala stop collabing together as often. In August, Meredith opens up about her full ED story on YouTube, but the video has since been privated. In the video, she talked about how at the start of her ED, she lost 27 pounds. It's not totally clear, but it is speculated that one of the reasons Meredith and Teala drifted as friends again was because of Meredith's closeness to her faith that only continues to grow, that we'll touch on the controversies around soon. So come November, Teala does a Q&A video where she answers if she and Eva are still friends by saying that she hasn't seen Eva since Coachella, where they just said hi to each other and it was fine, but that was the last she saw of her. So no, they're not still friends. By the end of 2019, for the Big Bear trip, Teala, Sierra, and Meredith are all there, and as expected, no Eva. Now this is where the timelines are gonna get a little less straightforward and linear because Meredith has this fall into becoming more and more religious over the next couple years, while the other girlies are still posting their normal influencer content and addressing the past drama. So Meredith starts opening up online about her ED and how she cites God as the reason for her recovery. Between 2020 and 2021, her content starts becoming more and more faith-focused, and she rebrands her YouTube account to be Saved by Grace. Other YouTube channels have done deeper dives into the church that she associates with being very cult-like. Apparently, ex-members of this church say that it was like a cult. She shared on social media witnessing people delivered from addiction and EDs. She claims that she saw a man next to her instantly healed from a motorcycle injury, and the church that she was connected with, called Bethel, allegedly has ties to very crazy right-wing conspiracy theories. And while your parents' views and choices don't always reflect your own, her mom posted about storming the Capitol on January 6th. In this time, Meredith also became very pro-life in her content and was associating with people with very radical views. Meanwhile, Eva continued keeping her distance with all of the Savage Squad, and Teala and Sierra seemed to become best friends on their own, continuing to collab together. In October 2020, Teala and Sierra did a Truth or Drink video divulging into some of the old Savage Squad tea, with a mixed reaction from the audience. When asked what happened between them and Eva, Teala says that a lot of things were swept under the rug until everything just came crumbling down. She said that they never really addressed their problems when they were upset about it, but at this point, Eva has refollowed Teala on everything, but they just don't really talk. Apparently, the only time Eva reached out was about boob jobs, since all three of the girls, Eva, Teala, and Sierra, all got boob jobs. When asked if they missed the squad, Sierra says there are times that she does miss it because it was a fun time, but also that she doesn't feel like it was ever a deep friendship. They literally refer to it as being very surface level, and that the strongest friendships amongst the squad used to be Teala and Eva, and then it was Teala and Meredith, and now it's Teala and Sierra. Sierra says she was friends with Eva first and was never close with Meredith. The entire time Savage Squad was a thing, Sierra was just surface level with everyone, which adds up since when Meredith first left, Eva made note that it was her and Teala that were really reaching out and really affected by Meredith pulling away. In Sierra's video, she admits to being jealous when Meredith and Teala became best friends during their mini era in 2019. She refers to the situation as Teala going back to the bitch, which commenters were really upset about, given everyone's concern over Meredith with her ED struggles and now concern of her potentially being in a cult. It rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. There's also a point in the video where they get asked whose boob job is better, and Sierra says that she's not answering, insinuating that her answer is that hers is better. Teala was trying to be nice at first and say that theirs are both good, but Sierra just kept giggling about how she wouldn't answer. It was just giving, are you trying trying to make your friend insecure about her boob job. The energy was a bit off, and people said Sierra was giving passive-aggressive vibes the entire time. Now, Sierra and Teala are not the only ones who get to spill their tea. Eva does make her own Truth or Drink video in 2021 with Alicia, where she addresses the drama and gives more context to what happened right before her 2019 video announcing the whole cutting ties thing. At this point, everyone, Eva, Teala, Meredith, and Sierra have all admitted that the Savage Squad was pretty fake and surface level, but even us knowing that, Eva still doubles down that the friendship was not for show and that they were a really good friend group and that there was never any drama between them. She said that shit just started to unravel. She decided to walk away from it because she knew what real friendship was like, which I feel like completely contradicts what she was just saying about how they were a real friend group. But I guess what she means is that it was a real friend group, but in its realness, it was also bad. She gives the example of how if you're celebrating a good moment you're proud of, you'd expect your friends to be happy for you and vice versa, but she wasn't getting that from those friends. And she says, no drama, it's just a learning experience for everyone on how to be a good friend. The real drama between them happened after she decided to cut ties, because she says the tea is that people don't like to hear you don't want to be friends with them simply because you just don't want to be friends with them. She said they needed a reason, and that's when people started shit. I felt like that was kind of a petty response because, yeah, you don't always owe someone an explanation, but it was messy of her to bring up her reasons for cutting off Teala and Sierra online without talking to them about it in real life first. And she did have a reason for why she didn't want to be friends with them anymore. She literally spilled all of the tea herself in the 2019 video. Anyone would be mad because you're starting drama and fueling online speculation by doing that. Anyway, she says that she's all good now with all of the members. Eva also addresses the reason that she stopped talking to Alicia, which is related to when she stopped talking to the Savage Squad girls, which is related to why she's never been on the girls' Big Bear trip. To set the scene, at this time, Alicia and Eva were actually discussing creating a new squad called the Valley Girls that would essentially be the Savage Squad and the Asian Girl Squad joined together, which is absolutely insane. They had a big group chat that Eva admits was super fake because the girls would only come together to film vlogs. No one would care if anyone chatted about their personal life updates in there. Like, if it was just personal, it would be crickets. But the second someone says, let's vlog, the group chat's popping again and everybody's down. Which sounds so incredibly toxic. So one of these vlog nights happened at Lauren's house, and Eva had a moment where she realized that she's just tired of these fake friendships. They all knew each other for years at this point, but their conversations were super shallow. She didn't know what to say to people. She had an audition for a Netflix show, and she asks Alicia what she thinks she should wear to the audition, and then Teala butts in like, oh, that character? I had my audition today. And in Eva's head, she's like, Teala is supposed to be my best friend, and that's not something you say to a best friend, because it made her feel like shit. So that caused her to spiral, and she told the girls that she needed to practice her lines, and then she left. After leaving the house, she left the group chat, and no one ever added her back in. And from then on out, she just never talked to anyone again. At the time, she thought that someone would re-add her to the group chat, but no one did, not even Alicia. She also admits that amongst the lifestyle girlies, there was a point where it was super competitive and everyone's videos were looking the exact same, and Alicia had the idea to bring everyone together and assign fonts that each girl could use. It just sounds so messy and mean girl environment and toxic and just sad. So based on all of this, I think it's safe to conclude that the Savage Squad group of best friends was never really a group of best friends. My thoughts are that Eva brought the group together for clout and collab potential. None of them were actually best friend level when the squad was in formation, especially Sierra and Meredith. They were just never close. Meredith and Teala admit to having someone, aka Eva, be the thing that drove them apart when Meredith was struggling with her ED in 2017. So my guess is that when Meredith was struggling, maybe Eva thought that Meredith should have opened up to them about it more since they were titled as best friends. But if their friendship was never really real, it totally makes sense why Meredith wouldn't feel comfortable doing that and would pull away. Eva was probably frustrated because in her head, she wanted them to be a real best friend squad, even though it was never actually that deep. Teala and Meredith were real friends when they reconnected in 2019, but drifted after Meredith became more and more religious and the cult-like activities, and Sierra and Teala only became close after Savage Squad was really done. So it sounds like surface level friendships paired with a lack of communication on where people actually stood with one another that caused different expectations and unnecessary drama. It looks like up to now, Sierra and Teala are still friends since Teala was part of Sierra's bridal party for her wedding last year. None of them seem very active on YouTube anymore. The content has shifted mostly to TikTok and Instagram. Meredith's content is very faith focused and a ton of people think that it's giving cult. Notably, her content with this woman named Britton Fairley last year brought up a lot of concerns with her old audience. People commented about how although her video's messaging sounds right, like about how women should be believed and supported when coming forward with their stories of essay, the vibe and the energy of the videos always feels kind of off. In her videos, there's also been reference to Meredith's time as part of Savage Squad being a time that Satan had a hold of her and put her in dangerous situations, so it is a bit of an extreme and just weird vibe. Sierra is giving a clean girl beige aesthetic influencer vibe. It's giving the archetype of what you'd expect when you think of an LA influencer. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, it's definitely a formula that works. Teala is giving influencer with less beige, more fun personality. I'm not sure if she's still pursuing acting jobs, but she is also an actress. And Eva is giving edgier, high fashion, cool girl vibes on her Instagram. Eva does have a music career under her stage name Marisol, which is her middle name, but it doesn't seem like she releases new music that often. As with all of these videos, no hate intended to any of these girls. Support whoever you want. We don't really know what went down. It's all just speculation. Please be sure to let me know what you guys think in the comments and if there's anything that I missed. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Please like and subscribe to support the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!